Hello and welcome back. Today we are continuing our Crusader Kings 3 run in the mod Princes of Darkness, where you can play as all manner of Gothic beasties. We're doing this kind of in prep for the upcoming Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, although we don't know when it's going to drop. It is supposed to drop this year. We are playing as Ares, the Overlord of War, the Lord of War. He is a demon in this realm. It's mainly populated by vampires, but last episode we managed to finally stick it to our great rival Camilla, who's probably one of the strongest vampires in the entire run, and he also, more importantly, was responsible for the destruction of Carthage. And so we have been sticking it to him. He took down the city of Carthage. Now we will take everything he holds dear. We will take his friend, and we will continue to, move against him, as it were. Having occupied all of Sicily here, we're in pretty good shape. We are going to be doing some journal entries, and by journal entries I mean decisions that are a little bit unique, like securing the Mediterranean, at least in this episode, and we are continuing our search for great people, trying to bring them into the fold. People like Byzantium's architect. We are trying to bring these great vampires into our fold, that way we can use them to help us against Camilla here. Although we've already won the first war, and actually, he's a bit stronger now. He's a little bit yikesy. The fact that he can get a lot more champions than us, potentially, maybe not anymore. Champions are a huge driver of power in this mod. But anyways, let's get into it. So we are starting to get to the point where our main kind of demonic powers, which are experienced in the Arcana lifestyle, we've unlocked all of them basically. But fortunately, there is a decision that allows you to make use of it, use of these points, and that is the Twist Fate. We can use our Arcana leftover points, because we've already kind of gained the most, to gain a boon. We have no idea what this does. We're going to say notify when it becomes available, and we're going to do gain a boon. Looks like it's just going to give us a little bit of gold and a little bit of prestige. Lucky me. I'm assuming, can we just keep doing that? Okay, well that's pretty modest. The second thing is we have gotten a great book, as it were, the Book of Nod, which is part of the Cainite history, which will allow us to start engaging in this decision where we study it. I believe this leads us down a pathway to uncovering the great vampires who have been sleeping long, waiting for an opportunity to come back and wreak possible cataclysm upon the earth. And so, if I recall correctly, but we don't recall correctly, or we might. We don't recall if we recall. You will review the collection of the tales of the Book of Nod, or for assembly or reading. You can assemble the parts of the Book of the Nod or read the text. The collection of ancient texts viewed as the Nodist Cainites. It consists of multiple recensions and fragments that have been reassembled by various kindred scholars, kindreds being vampires. Traditionally, the primary transmission of Cain's story is oral, Cain being the very first vampire, while the texts and most important events in Cainite history are heavily guarded to protect the Cainites. Its author is unknown, although Macabre, Salot, and even Cain are often cited to have written parts of it, if not the whole thing. Some people consider the book to be myth or lies, a story about vampires invented to explain their existence, or tool to use to mislead others into thinking and acting a certain way. The oldest piece of the book is dated just before the time of summer, around 4500 BC, the kind of cradle of civilization for vampires being in Mesopotamia, which we will return to, but first we must deal with Camilla. And so we see we have to own one of many of these things. We now own the temptation of Cain, and we might have to track down these other books, which will be a little bit interesting if this is the case, but we will consider the Book of Nod. We will nod as we read the Book of Nod. I have not done this event chain in quite some time. It's been years since I played this mod, or like a year and a half or something like this. A collection of ancient texts viewed as sacred to Nodist Cainites. It is consists of multiple Okay, we already read this. What will we read? The Chronicle of Shadows, the Chronicle of Cain, the Chronicle of Secrets, close the Book of Nod. Let's go with the Chronicles of Secrets. Okay, we don't own the Chronicles of Secrets. Do we own the Chronicle of Cain? We will read about the first times. Okay, so is this just a history little book? You do not own... Okay. What are we... Okay. Close the Book of Nod. Let's see. I guess we will have to read. Oh no. We can read about the temptation of Cain. Okay, so in that case, we're gonna take a little bit of a quick reload and be back with reading about the temptation of Cain. Alright, so we own the temptation of Cain. This is the one we own, so this should be the one we're able to read. And we will read, "And from the darkness came a bright shining light, the fire in the night. The archangel Michael revealed himself to me. I was unafraid. I asked him his business. Michael, general of heaven, wielder of holy flame." Michael, of course, since we are one of the demons, Michael was one of the ones who cast us down, said unto me, "Son of Adam, son of Eve, thy crime is great," which is, of course, fratricide, the crime of Cain, and yet the mercy of the Father is so great. Will you not repent the evil that you have done, and let his mercy wash you clean? We will continue reading. "And I said to Michael, not by the one above's grace, but by my own will I live, in pride. Michael cursed me, saying, Then, for as long as you shall walk the earth, you and your children will fear living flame." This, of course, hurts vampires a lot. "And it will bite deep and savor your flesh. And in the morning, Raphael came on lambent wings, light over the horizon, the driver of the sun, ward of the east." Continue reading. Raphael spoke, "Cain, son of Adam, son of Eve, your brother Abel forgives you your sin. Will you not repent and accept the mercy of the Almighty?" And I said to Raphael, "Not by Abel's forgiveness, but my own will I be forgiven." Pretty metal. Raphael cursed me, saying, "Then for as long as you shall walk this earth, you and your children will feel the dawn, and the sun's rays will burn you like fire. Wherever you hide, always hide now, for the sun rises to take its wrath on you." But I found a secret place in the earth, and I hid from the burning light of the sun. Deep in the earth, I slept until the night of the world was hidden behind the mountain of night. Let's continue reading. So I guess this is just giving us piety. When I woke from my day of sleep, I heard the sound of gentle rushing of wings, and I saw the black wings of Uriel draped around me. Uriel, Reaper, angel of death, dark Uriel who dwells in the darkness. Uriel spoke to me quietly, saying, "Son of Adam, son of Eve, God Almighty has forgiven you your sin. Will you accept his mercy, and let me take you to your reward, no longer cursed?" And I said to the dark-winged Uriel, "Not by God's mercy, but my own will I live. I am what I am, I did what I did, and that can never change." Continue reading the temptation of Cain. Then through dread, Uriel said, "God Almighty cursed me, saying, Then for as long as you shall walk this earth, you and your children will cling to darkness. You will only drink blood. You will eat only ashes. You will be always as you were at death, never dying, living on. You will walk forever in the darkness. All you touch will crumble into nothing until last days." We'll continue reading. I gave a cry in anguish at this terrible curse tore at my flesh. I wept blood. I caught the tears in a cup and I drank them. When I looked up from my drink of my sorrow, the archangel Gabriel, the gentle Gabriel, Lord of mercy, appeared to me. The archangel Gabriel said unto me, "Son of Adam, son of Eve, behold, the mercy of the Father is greater than you ever know. For even now there is a path opened, a road of mercy, and you shall call this road Golconda." Golconda is a mystical state of enlightenment where vampires no longer subject to the beast, the hunger. In the Prince of Darkness, Golconda is a trait. A rare few individuals start with it, but everyone else can only achieve it after a long journey. Since Golconda is tied to your humanity, you will lose all your progress on this journey if you commit murder, theft, or succumb to frenzy, which is what happens when the hunger gets too great. This trait gives you minus stress gain, can host feasts, gain piety, can exchange piety for resonance perks. Oof, that's strong. Can learn elder perk regardless of generation. Okay. No longer affected by hunger for blood, will never frenzy. Man, crazy. Trait is lost when committing murder or theft. Okay, interesting. And tell your children of it, for by that road they may come to once again dwell in the light. We will continue reading. And with that, the darkness was lifted like a veil, and the only light was Leela's bright eyes. Looking around me, I knew that I had awakened. When my energies first surged through me, I discovered how to move like lightning, how to borrow strength from the earth, how to be like stone. they were like breathing once was to me. Lilith showed me how she hides herself from the hunters, how she commands obedience, and how she demands respect. Then, awakening myself further, I found a way to alter forms, the way to have dominion over animals, to make the way to make eyes see sight. Then Lilith commanded that I stop. We get a little notification for that one. Then Lilith commanded that I stop, saying that I had reached my bounds, that I had gone too far, that I threatened my very essence. She used her powers and commanded me to stop, but because of her power, I heeded her, but deep within me a seed was planted, a seed of rebellion, and when she turned her face from me, I opened myself up once more to the night, and I saw the infinite possibilities in the stars, and I knew that a path of power, a path of blood, was mine for the taking, and so I awakened in me this final path, from which all other paths would grow. With this newest power, I broke the bonds that the Lady of the Night put on me. I left the damned queen that evening, cloaking myself in shadows. I fled the lands of Nod, and came at last to a place where not even her demons could find me. And then, I think that is the end of the chronicle as we have it, because we do not have a copy of Zyla's tale. But that is very early in the beginning chronicles of the vampires, which is, of course, Cain was cursed by God, and that is how vampirism, at least in the lore of this kind of world, came about. For some reason, Nefertiti here thinks that she can take us, so that's definitely a mistake. We will be swiftly dispatching her little puny tiny claim on the Kingdom of Africa, and we will put a pin in her to deal with her later after Camilla, or perhaps before Camilla. We'll see. Alright, it looks like we have finally, I think with our unlocking of dreaming at the end of last episode, unlocked the stuff off to the right, which is the Umbra, our ability to move into the Shadow Realm. And so we would like to know kind of how some of this stuff goes. So, exploration. The option at the bottom of the panel represents an umbral realms that you can visit. I think that's over here. The Shadowlands, the Spirit Wilds, the Astral Planes. The option on the left side of the panel is the sub-realm location. I think that's over here. An Umbral realm can take one of 6 different types depending on the color of the option's background. Astral reaches, Dreaming, Spirit Wilds, Underworld, Deep Umbra, and areas that don't belong to those 5. The first 5 need the corresponding trait or perk in order to access. I think we're allowed to dream, which is why we are allowed to move into this dream realm. As such, Umbral Realm is hidden if you don't meet the requirements. Now we meet them, like being in a coast/sea region, having the right faith, or being past a certain date. All right, let's go back. Action. The right side of the panel, which is this, are actions that can be used in the Umbral Realm, including a map that allows you to fast travel to the starting point. Some Umbral Realms have rulers which allow you to exchange grace, which representing favor with these rulers for benefits when you find an interest. Ooh, very cool. You can use those actions to start an Umbra expedition. Maybe we'll try and find Hades here, which will opens a map that can change challenges, random events, and duels. The more stressed out you are, stressed, pressed, and depressed, the more duels will be generated along the path. All right, fair enough. And then interest. You can station an Umbra Explorer in the bottom right corner of the panel. If the Umbral Realm permits it, the Explorer needs to have the ability to travel to Umbra. Explorers will report on interesting events they find in the Umbra and will raise knowledge about the level of the Umbral Realm that they are exploring. This gives you benefits so you can see its mouse corresponding icon, okay? And then danger. If the name of the Umbral Realm is colored in red, this means that the Umbral Realm is a dangerous location. Yeah, that makes sense. Entering it will cause you to be unable to use interactions on other characters or even be trapped in this place. Yikes. You usually won't gain beneficial Umbra interest with a seasoned explorer in it. With a seasoned explorer in it. Okay, so this means you need to do it yourself. When a great maelstrom happens, all underworld realms will be turned into a dangerous location. Oblivion has a skull icon for a reason. Don't enter Oblivion. Well, when you say it like that... Alright, so we can also open up a map here, and currently we don't have access to the astral reaches, but I think that this is, we require one of these traits, and so it's a little bit easier to try and figure out how we might do this. I think common gifts we maybe could get access to at some point. Not really sure how that works. We do have access to the spirit wilds, it looks like, and we do have access to dreaming. We will lose our angelic form, which is unfortunate, especially because we lose a ton of diplomatic scheme power if we do this. And so I'm not sure if we even... Oblivion, you just die. It do be like that sometimes. That do be Oblivion. So I think we're going to go near dreaming. Unfortunately, this will hurt all of our... We have 4 schemes to try and convince people to join the dark side because we have free cookies. But I think we're going to do this. And whoa, this is a lot of stuff. Okay. So we have all manner of options here that we can try and do. Wow, okay. Can we get a local explorer? This is us. We can assign ourselves monthly progress. Okay. And then we can go deeper. Or, we lose the journey into dreaming. Interesting. Well, formerly an Arcadian Protectorate, maybe we go there. This one is a little bit of a nightmare realm. Why don't we just try this and see what happens? Okay, that didn't seem to do very much. Bottomless crack and near dreaming. Take this sword. You do not have 5 levels of knowledge of this Umbra region. Okay, so maybe in order to do a lot of things here, we will have to gain some sort of knowledge. I think we're journeying into dreaming, so this is where we are currently. So I guess we will be gaining experience in here, and it doesn't look like, yeah, near the Rio Grande, the Mississippi rivers, the waters of these rivers are pure and sweet and finest streams. Drinking from them is enough to do etc., etc. But it doesn't look like we have very many actions that we can engage in most of these places. There was the one that required us having knowledge. But this is all super, super fascinating. I'm a little scared to click the red ones. Okay. Let's keep near dreaming. Okay, well, let's try clicking one of these red ones. Never had a home realm. This is the nightmare realm in near dreaming. But if they did, the blot gear would suit them. Cold and wet, dismal. Blot gear is an endless morass of poison marshes, shallow meandering rivers, and sickly scrub. Deep in the darkness region of the vast realms are vast Cyclopean cities built from the denuded ivory bones of the behemoth's long extent that all but burst into dreaming. So we can assign ourselves here in the dangerous Cyclopean realm. And then we could just... I think that's just where we are now. And so I'm assuming we will get events accordingly, and we'll see how that shakes out. We are now sponsoring Dante Alighieri, trying to get him to write something for us. We had him embraced by a vampire. Notably, the person we're having embracing all the great people is Hannibal. We're just asking Hannibal to embrace them, and by embrace I mean turn them into a vampire. This, of course, makes them change their religion, which makes them hate us, which is a little bit obnoxious, but we will, since they are already our cultists, they are already infernalists, we can give them titles afterwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to wait for Dante to finish whatever he's writing, and then we're going to give him a nice plot of land. His stat line's really good, and so that'll be nice. Well, this is awkward. We have 2 people we're patronizing right now. Patronizing, and that is Theodore Metokites, who is a historic character that I don't know who this is, and then Dante Alighieri, and now they are having a little bit of a spat regarding who deserves more funding. This is quite a bit of funding to increase the quality of the book, especially considering we're currently in debt. We could have a little bit of a contest between the 2, and then we could even do stuff that makes them kind of leave. But considering how much prestige we have, and we're getting 75 a tick, I think we'll just use the prestige option. We are currently working here to... we'll have Hannibal. we'll have Hannibal become our friend, of course. We dedicate our artifact to Lord Hannibal. And then in here, we are looking to expand Hannibal's lands. This is Hannibal, where he's cruising right here. And I think we're just going to give him the more territory so that he becomes a relatively strong member of the court. And while we're doing this, we are on ourselves a journey deep into the far north to go to the Kingdom of the White Roos for the purposes of stealing something. Not the Sword of Null, which is one of the better weapons in the game when we were searching around for items, but instead, the Royal Court, we are looking for Baldor's Crystal Eye. When the great Baldor of the Evil Eye finally fell in battle, one of the warrior priests of the Fomorians took out his shattered eye and encased it in crystal, where the healing waters of a well were also stored. He hoped to save and restore it so that he could be used as a weapon against the Tuatha de Danann and their Get. The eye has been dormant for centuries, however, but with the coming of the red star visible in dreaming that the Fae call the Eye of Balor, we of course want to be better at dreaming. The royal guardians have bathed this eye in its light and protected spot. The crystal eyes begin to glow a red dull since that great heat held at bay. Natural dread, or dread gain plus 20%, natural dread plus 6, plus this dread coming down, and men-at-arms maintenance per dread. I think we're starting to stack some of these modifiers, so we're starting to get pretty high, and we're basically stuck at 100 dread constantly, so I think this will be an awesome addition if we can manage to steal it, because it is illustrious, and so that might be a little bit of a task. It's time to begin the infiltration looking for Balor's Crystal Eye. This will be a night to remember. Now, the last time this worked, last time we tried to do this, it was a little bit tough. We have to search for 2 keys. And this is a huge thing. Okay, so I think in general we're going to we are really good at the learning challenges in particular. We're okay with the diplomacy challenges. Let's head out this way and see. Well, the martial challenges we should be in really good shape as well. The prowess challenges, and we need to find the keys. Here is an exit. We don't know if there's a key here. I suppose we're going to do this one because we have a really strong advantage here. And then we're going to... Oh, man, both of these we don't do too well. That's unfortunate. Smooth talkers needed. Well... Alright, let's go this way. And we are currently really low suspicion still. Helen of Troy is got really... Alright, here's a key. And there's a key. Okay, so we know where the keys are at. So let's grab this key. And we know that there's now not a vault over here. We're trying to take this a little bit more carefully than before. I think it definitely doesn't make sense to go back over this stewardship node. So let's go through the inconspicuous traps and grab this other key to the vault. And so now we can unlock the vault. We haven't found the vault yet on the map, so it's either here or here. I think we might as well do this one. Helen of Troy will be very good for this. And then here is the priceless treasure. This will increase suspicion, but fortunately there's an exit right there. So it looks like we are going to be in really good shape. This will give us 50 prestige. Let's not push our luck. Alright, let's just do this one. The mount pressures on the Ares conspiracy, but thanks to But this just makes things more excited. Does the court of Smolensk suspect something afoot? Doesn't matter, they'll never catch us anyway. Performances like this are what cement the Ares conspiracy as a conspiracy worthy of legend. I think that since we know that we're like basically right at the exit, we might as well just take the extra prestige, and then we are going to exit the mission and become owners of Balor's Crystal Eye. Another win for the good guys here, and we will open the inventory and slot that in. Currently not... Ooh, wait. Not that inventory. It is a Royal Court item, which is fantastic. And so it'll go right here. Balor's Crystal Eye, giving us much more men-at-arms maintenance per dread, or I think that we have like 100 dread basically, so this will be minus 10% maintenance, which is going to be fantastic, and it'll help us to cement and keep our dread constantly high, although we're kind of constantly oh, it's only 76? Well, we must do something to rectify that. But we're only losing half a dread a month, and so that will be a pretty nice pickup for us as we will head home. We're taking a little bit of a long route, detouring through a couple places that we haven't explored yet on the map, but that should be pretty straightforward, as should finishing up this war. Well, Dante Alighieri just hit it and quit it. He took like 900 ducats from us and then just bounced. So shout out to him. We do have a pin in him. Maybe we can get something, him to do something. I don't know, man. That's just such a bummer. Oh well. Alright, we get at least one book inspiration, and this is going to give us diplomacy and monthly diplomacy lifestyle experience. That's going to be pretty nice. We're impressed. We say big nice to this man. We're also going on a little bit of a Hunsky poo. But I think we will slot in our thing. Ooh, okay, we have a little bit of a choice. Alright, it's going to be way better than this. Book of the Sun. We don't fulfill the requirements because we're not on the road to humanity, so we'll grab this one. And that'll be a little bit of a slight upgrade to us. We're not using that tree. We're currently still executing our theurgery or our sorcery focus here, gaining some more of this stuff because we want to unlock new paths and new things we can do, and so that's what we'll be doing there. But now that the man himself has finished, the guy that we have gotten to do all this stuff, I think we'll have him turn into a vampire. That way he will be immortal. So we're going to have Hannibal embrace him, and so we're going to recommend that he, you know, say, hey, to this guy, what's going on? And he will become a vampire. Now, the unfortunate thing, again, is that this guy is going to lose his innocence, fresh soul to enjoy. Okay, now he's wrath, and then as soon as he gets converted, let's go to the hunt. Peril, harmless, prestige, trivial. Yeah, do be like that. And then Hannibal makes him a vampire, and now he converts. And now he hates us again. And so, unfortunately, we can't do too much to alleviate that. Not really sure what the best course of action is. If we make him a ruler, the problem is that if we give him some territory, then he won't, why can't we corrupt him? Oh, because we just used it. If we give him some territory, then he won't leave, but then we won't be able to convert him. So, this is becoming a recurring problem that is kind of putting a little bit of a... Maybe we can do this on Marco Polo once he chills out? Okay, so I'm just not sure exactly how it works. I think that we do want to get rid of some of our land, though, because we are over the limit, and so what we'll do is we will grant him some leadership. We will grant him... Oh, we can't grant him titles because he's not an Infernalist. Oh, we didn't make him an Infernalist first. Yikes. Okay, we maybe reload and try something a little bit different. The problem is we didn't recognize Cultist after he converted to Wrath. Okay. So we just finished up a pilgrimage to Byzantium, making that our third pilgrimage. I think we only have 2 more holy sites that we need to visit for Wrath. We visited As Salaman. We visited... I think we visited Tunis. I think we visited the Vatican. So actually that just leaves one more, just returning to Al-Hila, which we have passed through. But also, coming in, we have an available dynasty pick. And initially I thought this wasn't that good, because I'm not sure exactly what constitutes a pact. However, I'm starting to think that everyone who follows Wrath is considered to, you know, be in a pact. So let's find someone who follows Wrath. So, for example, Helen of Troy, she is not in particular, she's not a thrall of ours. We only have 3 thralls, which is kind of the strongest pact, but I think the cultist relationship alone might be enough so that this boosts it. Also, I'm expecting, if it only applies to our thralls, then this isn't very good, but I'm expecting there to be an event alongside this, so we're going to click on an up for Infernal Knowledge, rather than going just the vanilla stuff. The vanilla stuff doesn't seem that good. We've unlocked Infernal Knowledge, and so let's see if her learning goes up at all. And it does. So every single one of our subjects now has +5 learning, which is probably pretty good. So let's just take a quick look at the renown, because let's see, House Namaru. That's not the one we wanted. That's our dynasty tree. So let's open legacies here. And the next one will be 5 diplomacy, and after that intrigue, and then stewardship. The stewardship in particular, I think, is going to be overall the strongest. But was kind of hoping for a little bit of an event that told us something about something. Okay. We also have found Momchill, who we have sent on a quest. This guy is a historic person, and so what we're going to do is we're going to send him on the quest, and then we're going to embrace him, and then he's going to run away like everyone else. And so it do be like that sometimes. He will... Let's pick the one that does slightly higher quality. Let's just hope he doesn't get wounded or maimed. He gained the trait wounded. Alright, well, you know, just a scratch. Looks like the Black Death is here. The world is known as fair share of plagues and diseases, but has it ever known something as deadly as the Black Death? Even with your great knowledge, you don't recall an event as dire as this one. And we be old. We be real old, so that's a little bit rough. Mortals are dying in droves, claimed by the Pale Rider who moves on from city to city, leaving only corpses and fleas in his wakes. Prayers, fire, blame. Nothing seems to stop it or even slow it. Entire communities have been reduced to ashes, and the eerie silence permeating the air in night is telling. Is this the end? And so Black Death has come, realms have been devastated, etc., and we will get events that correspond, roughly speaking, to, the vampires trying to, or at least if you're playing as a vampire, you get events related to the Black Death. But we get the big spooky, the bubonic plague itself, apocalyptic. Now, we haven't interacted with, actually, the plague mechanic too much, but the Black Death is something that has been in this mod for some time, and so as a vampire, you try and avoid becoming a carrier, because that will make the mortals a little bit more afraid of, the potential of vampires existing. So it's harder to stay concealed. Blasted. We are stymied by our rival, Camilla, my precious East Slavic notes, where we're trying to discover the true name of another demon. With a demon's true name, we can control them. He's ruined it all. The ink-soaked raven is still flapping its wings all over. How did it even get in here? Who covered it in ink? A letter for you, my overlord. I turned and snatched the message out of the servant's hand. A real shame what happened to your notes. But look at the bright side. Your writing was already similar to crow's feet's. Regard, Lord Camilla. Not Camilla. He does deserve to die. And so we will lose progress and start a murder scheme on Lord Camilla. Except we don't want to murder him. We actually want to do something else with him. We have a long-term plan for what's going to happen to Camilla, so we will not murder him. We will just be really sad that our notes were ruined by that raven. Dear God, the world is covered in a great, big, massive plague. This is a lot of darkness in the Dark Ages. The bubonic plague is wrecking kind of all of humanity right now. Fatalities 349. That seems like a lot because we're only counting the named characters here, and a lot of people are immortal. So the fact that this has killed 349 people is a bit of a vibe. Still, Bohemia seems to be doing okay. I wonder how they've managed to secure it. But I think we're going to conclude the episode here. Next episode, we are going to be waking Artemis and trying to recruit her to our cause. But for now, we have kind of explored the Book of Nod and the Spirit Realms, as well as done, kind of some other things, a little bit of expansion here and there, slowly moving out. But we did start to read into the history of all of the... Where's the Book of Nod? Of all of the vampires. We read into that a little bit, and we have also started exploring the Spirit Realm, not really making too much progress. We have, out of something like 2,000 progress, we have like 700 progress exploring. There might be a little bit of a faster way to explore. Maybe we're supposed to travel with our conspiracy and have each person explore a different area, something like this, which is, maybe that would make sense. But I also don't want to randomly lose conspiracy members who are quite valuable to us, just kind of in the madness of the thing. And so it is a little bit spooky. Maybe we don't mind if we lose Gremory too much, but there's other people who are part of the conspiracy. So, like including Helen of Troy, which we don't want to lose that 30-30 intrigue that she's contributing, both as a conspiracy member as well as a council member. So, Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm thing, and other than that, have a good one. Hopefully your day's better than this plague.